Namaskar, Jai Shri Krishna. Appreciating text 5, text 6 and text 7 of chapter 19, the appearance of Sukadeva Gosvami of first canto creation of Srimad Bhagavatam. Text 5. Atho vihaye mama muma cha lokam vimarshitau heyataya purastat Krishnan gri seva madhi manyamana upavishat praya mamartya nadyam. Maharaj Parikshit sat down firmly on the banks of the Ganges to concentrate his mind in Krishna's consciousness, rejecting all other practices of self-realization, because transcendental loving service to Krishna is the greatest achievement, superseding all other methods. For a devotee like Maharaj Parikshit, none of the material planets, even the topmost Brahmalok, is as desirable as Goloka Vrindavan, the abode of Lord Shri Krishna, the primeval Lord and original personality of Godhead. This earth is one of the innumerable material planets within the universe, and there are innumerable universes also within the compass of the Mahat Tattva. The devotees are told by the Lord and his representatives, the spiritual masters or acharyas, that not one of the planets within all the innumerable universes is suitable for the residential purposes of a devotee. The devotee always desires to go back home, back to Godhead, just to become one of the associates of the Lord in the capacity of servitor, friend, parent or conjugal lover of the Lord, either in one of the innumerable Vaikuntha planets or in Goloka Vrindavan, the planet of Lord Shri Krishna. All these planets are eternally situated in the spiritual sky, the Paravyoma, which is on the other side of the causal ocean within the Mahat Tattva. Maharaj Parikshit was already aware of all this information due to his accumulated pity and birth in a high family of devotees, Vaishnavas, and thus he was not at all interested in the material planets. Modern scientists are very eager to reach the moon by material arrangements, but they cannot conceive of the highest planet of this universe. But a devotee like Maharaj Parikshit does not care a fig for the moon or, for that matter, any of the material planets. So when he was assured of his death on a fixed date, he became more determined in the transcendental loving service of Lord Krishna by complete fasting on the bank of the transcendental river Yamuna, which flows down by the capital of Hastinapur in the Delhi state. Both the Ganges and the Yamuna are Amartya, transcendental rivers, and the Yamuna is still more sanctified for the following reasons. Text 6. Ya vai lasacha Shri Tulsi Vimishra Krishnan Gri Renavabhya Dhikambu Netri Punati Lokanu Bhayatra Seshan Kastam Na Seveta Marishyamanaha. The river Ganges, by which the king sat to fast, carries the most auspicious water, which is mixed with the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord and tulsi leaves. Therefore, that water sanctifies the three worlds, inside and outside, and even sanctifies Lord Shiv and other demigods. Consequently, everyone who is destined to die must take shelter of this river. Maharaj Parikshit, just after receiving the news of his death, within 7 days at once retired from family life and shifted himself to the sacred bank of the Yamuna river. Generally, it is said that the king took shelter on the bank of the Ganges, but according to Srila Goswami, the king took shelter on the bank of the Yamuna. Srila Goswami's statement appears to be more accurate because of the geographical situation. Maharaj Parikshit resided in his capital Hastinapur, situated near present Delhi, and the river Yamuna flows down past the city. Naturally, the king would take shelter of the river Yamuna because she was flowing past his palace door. And as far as sanctified is concerned, the river Yamuna is more directly connected with Lord Krishna than the Ganges. The Lord sanctified the river Yamuna from the beginning of his transcendental pastimes in the world, while his father Vasudeva was crossing the Yamuna with the baby Lord Krishna for a safe place at Gokul on the other bank of the river from Mathura. The Lord fell down in the river, and by the dust of his lotus feet, the river at once became sanctified. It is especially mentioned herein that Maharaj Parikshit took shelter of that particular river, which is beautifully flowing, carries the dust of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna mixed with tulsi leaves. Lord Krishna's lotus feet are always besmeared with the tulsi leaves, and thus as soon as his lotus feet contact the water of the Ganges and the Yamuna, the rivers become at once sanctified. The Lord, however, contacted the river Yamuna more than the Ganges. According to the Varaha Puran, as quoted by Shri Gosvami, there is no difference between the water of the Ganges and the Yamuna, but when the water of the Ganges is sanctified 100 times, it is called the Yamuna. Similarly, it is said in the scriptures that 1000 names of Vishnu are equal to one name of Ram, and 3 names of Lord Ram are equal to one name of Krishna. Text 7. Iti vyavacha chidya sa pandaveyah prayopavesham prati vishnupadyam dadhau mukundanagri mananya bhavo munivrato mukta samasta sangah. Thus the king, the worthy descendant of the Pandavas, decided once and for all and sat on the Ganges bank to fast until death and give himself up to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, who alone is able to award liberation. So freeing himself from all sorts of associations and attachments, he accepted the vows of a sage. The water of the Ganges sanctifies all the 3 worlds, including the gods and the demigods, because it emanates from the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead Vishnu. Lord Krishna is the fountainhead of the principle of Vishnu Tattva, and therefore shelter of his lotus feet can deliver one from all sins, including an offense committed by a king unto a Brahman. Maharaj Parikshit therefore decided to meditate upon the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna, who is Mukunda, or the giver of liberations of all description. The banks of the Ganges or the Yamuna give one a chance to remember the Lord continuously. Maharaj Parikshit freed himself from all sorts of material association and meditated upon the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and that is the way of liberation. To be free from all material association means to cease completely from committing any further sins. To meditate upon the lotus feet of the Lord means to become free from the effects of all previous sins. The conditions of the material world are so made that one has to commit sins willfully or unwillingly, and the best example is Maharaj Parikshit himself, who was a recognized sinless pious king. But he also became a victim of an offense, even though he was ever unwilling to commit such a mistake. He was cursed also, but because he was a great devotee of the Lord, even such reverses of life became favorable. The principle is that one should not willingly commit any sin in his life and should constantly remember the lotus feet of the Lord without deviation. Only in such a mood will the Lord help the devotee make regular progress toward the path of liberation and thus attain the lotus feet of the Lord. Even if there are accidental sins committed by the devotee, the Lord saves the surrendered soul from all sins as confirmed in all scriptures. Swapada moolam bhajatah priyasya tyaktani abhavasya hariha pareshah vikarma yacha chotpatitam kathanchida dhunoti sarvam hrudi sannivistah. Bhagavatam 11.5.42. Thank you.